you can come meet Sammy and his family. Sammy was a chief cook for Norm's for years, and it shows in his menu. Sammy's is a great place to meet the family, friends, or have a community meeting. You can. Ask about their private meeting room, available for parties of 15 or more on a first-come, first-served basis. Sammy's is now open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day at 540 Sandalwood Drive off of Exit 88 at the 10 Freeway in Calamasa. Look for the Big Boy statue. It's still there. We thank Sammy for returning to this station as a loyal sponsor. You can find more info about Sammy's at sammyscafe.net. That's sammyscafe.net, where you can also find discount coupons to save money. And by the way, Sammy's has free Wi-Fi too. Sammy's in Calamasa, Rialto, or one of their other locations are ready to serve you. Sammy's is now open in Calamasa.
The Village Mud wants to remind pet owners of the importance of spaying and neutering. Shelters overflow with unwanted pets. Spaying and neutering helps prevent this and has many health benefits too. That message courtesy of the Village Mud at 6665 East Foothill Boulevard in Claremont. For self-serve pet wash tubs and high-end food and treats for dogs and cats, featuring natural and raw. Call the Village Mud 909-624-3020 and like them on Facebook.
Our food supply is facing total destruction. Big Ag and Big Farm are using new CRISPR technology to genetically modify every fruit, vegetable, and grain. It's so bad that the FDA just approved the first GMO cow for human consumption. At Joseph's Organic Bakery, we never use GMO hybridized flour. We bake like 1,000 years ago. We only use non-GMO ancient grains that we grind ourselves, never commercial flour. Proper bread is medicine. To learn how our bread can transform your health, give us a call at 954-541-4062 or visit our website at veganbakerymiami.com. That's 954-541-4062.
No matter what it is in life that you want, you gotta go out there and get it. Just don't let it come to a sleeper but a dream. Never give up on your goals, stay focused on you. Focus your view, succeed, cause I'm hoping you do. Keep climbing up the ladder, cause the key to success.
What's up, team? This is Robert Porter with the I Love San Bernardino County Radio Show with Ipiani Lockhart in the house.
Hey, now.
Motivational Realizations is one of our sponsors, and it's a incredible company that Yanni has been working with. About 10 years you've been building this company.
For real.
And I want to thank them for being a wonderful sponsor here on I Love San Bernardino and helping out.
It's a pleasure and an honor.
I'd also like to mention our sponsor, Celebrities Bar and Grill over on 40th Street. Max Zaire has always been there for us. He's got a new spot over off Cherry Avenue right there in what's that, Calamasa right there, border Ukaipa.
Okay.
Right? So if you want to go and head over there and get a drink there, that's good. Juice it up is yummy.
Hey, now.
But you can also get virgin margarita. There's a mango one is really good at Celebrities if you want, or you could even put some Bacardi rum in there. Yeah. I don't do you drink, Antonio? No. All right.
Wise man.
All right, so I do want to mention, thank you, Max, for everything you do. We really do appreciate you. Before I hand off the show to our host for this evening, Antonio, I will like to mention the standout of the week happens to be our engineer that is his birthday today. Rick Rule is helping us today. Thank you, Rick.
Shout out to Rick
and
Rule.
everything you do, right?
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, Eric's birthday
you
is
know what?
today, and so I wanted to help him out and everything. So congratulations, Eric, making another year, and I'm here for you guys tonight.
Hey, do you know Eric's last name?
Who's that?
Huh?
Starts with an O.
It starts with an O. You know
Eric
Eric's last name?
Asario.
Huh?
Eric Asario, and his
Asario.
daughter's name is
I call
Gracie.
Palm trees, right?
Palm trees in progress.
Yeah.
I call him E-Money.
Yeah. But we want to thank him for everything he does. He makes sure we're on time. He takes care of everything on here. So we appreciate engineers and all they do.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And shout out to Big Joe as well.
Yes.
Big Joe's always been really cool. He used to be our engineer when we were over at the Carousel Mall.
He's
Always
been here
took care of us.
forever.
man.
And that's brought to us by Ben Chavez and First Lineage Site Services. Thank you so much for helping our community. What he does is his company makes the connections with construction sites and the things that are necessary to keep them running right.
Awesome.
Right, security, all that different stuff. So thank you for everything they do. Go ahead,
And
Yanni.
before we jump over to our amazing host that's going to be navigating this amazing topic that we're speaking about today, just want to go over some community updates and highlight. How was your weekend? We'll go across the panel, but see how everybody's holiday weekend was, because it was just the 4th of July, and it was a lot of wonderful happenings throughout the Inland Empire. So how about yourself, Robert?
Well, I on the actual 4th, I went down to Highland and the church there and watched their fireworks show from a side street. And it just happened to be like in between two houses. We found a parking spot.
Awesome.
And it was, all the fireworks were right there. So it was, the kids got on the roof. They had a good
Awesome.
time.
Awesome.
We did the, barbecue thing. That was fun. And then on Saturday, we joined you at Back to the Grind for Rocky's open mic,
And
but
concert, yeah.
his concert too. Thank you for hooking up those tickets for me and Amy. I appreciate
Rocky.
that. Yeah.
Thank you, Rocky.
Yeah, thank you, Rocky. I appreciate you. And Amy and you got a chance to perform. I'm sure
Totally.
you'll talk about that in a
Totally,
second.
totally.
I'm very proud of Amy.
Yes, indeed.
She did her song Mistress Moon, original.
Beautiful.
She wrote
Totally.
it all, and she's getting better and better every time I hear her sing it.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to see it or see some of her work, she has a new Facebook page.
I saw.
Yeah, Amasa Albright.
Hey now.
Amasa Albright. She's named after the first mayor of San Bernardino. So check out her Facebook page and like it.
I know she's like 6 or 7 generations here. Like they really,
Yeah.
the founder,
Yeah,
connected to like
they
the
came with
OGs.
the Mormon,
Yeah.
basically the wagon train, right?
Yeah.
So a long time history here. That was Amasa Lyman, the first mayor of San Bernardino.
Awesome.
I also, the mega art, I'd be remiss if I did not mention some incredible discoveries I've been making lately on Google Earth and Google Maps. These images, one that leads from the Mojave Desert into the Antelope Valley area and then to Santa Catalina, this area where I assume there would probably be some type of dolphin or some kind of marine creature leading that way, because I found a huge moon at the headwaters of the Mojave River.
All right.
So I'm like, that matches God's Eye up in Big Bear. So I'm like, they're very interesting. So I thought, well, if this is true, then every single canyon has to have this, right? Right. So it has to be, and it has to be related to that area. If it's not, then I'm seeing things. Well, first thing I go over there, I see a huge dolphin. That pretty much settled it for me. And then the dolphin's like sitting there on a whale. There's a seal there, a bald eagle on the top, and a coyote and all of them. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, we'll move on to the next one.
That's
right.
what's up. That's
So now
awesome.
I'm just like, I can't stop in one area. I'm just going to go to all the Native American spots where we did archaeology.
Awesome.
Right? And I'm going to show that the song that they sang there is literally written on the hills.
Beautiful.
Right? They're going to be able to see their characters in their songs in real time.
Awesome.
Like something that was done orally for a long time.
Totally.
Now we'll have a face to be able to put to it, right? So like if you you see the cross with Jesus on it, right? You have that image you never forget.
I hear you.
I'm never going to forget the image of the Creator now.
Beautiful.
I can see Him.
Awesome.
It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Right?
Bro.
So that kind of thing is really kind of a more spiritual thing,
There you go.
but also a practical thing when you're dealing with trying to get across the Mojave Desert and trying to survive, right? Whoa. So you see a huge moon, you know that's the headwaters to the Mojave River. The Mojave River is the largest underground northern flowing river.
Awesome.
So there's only spots to get water along it. So you have to stay on that trail, or what happens?
Oh, you dehydrate and
bad
die.
days, right? Right. So these had a practical use too. So that's where I'm at right now, and
Awesome.
right now I'm working on getting the blessings necessary to to navigate this Native American area as a Caucasian, right?
I hear you.
And
And
an
that's the
anthropologist, right?
That's the
so
right thing to do.
you have to have the blessings of people that should be guiding you the proper way.
Totally.
Right.
That's
And
right.
most of my guides are old books, people that have passed away, but some of them are current people that have delved deep into their own cultures.
Amen.
And see some of this stuff and want to know more.
That's beautiful, man. I just have to say I admire your passion. Like you're on fire about this, and I wish you will with all your endeavors.
This feeling, right? And today, since I have a blessing, it took away the stress and made
Amen.
it calm.
Beautiful.
So good. What's up, Jason? What's up, man? Like, before I look at
There you
this
go.
team.
There you go.
Look at
Rep the
this.
set. Rep the set.
I'm saving this for a special occasion. Yeah, you know this is awesome, team. Now tell us what's going on with this, Jason.
And how was your holiday weekend as well?
My holiday weekend was pretty cool. I like taking my e-bike out, so what I did was I took the e-bike out and took it on the Metrolink, and then took the Metrolink down to Santa Monica.
Awesome.
And I chilled in Santa Monica for I went to Venice for a little while and just chilled, and then I went over to Santa Monica to the beach, and then got a real nice view of sunset, and then after that I headed to the 6th Street Bridge over there.
Okay.
And they were lighting fireworks off like crazy over there.
I'd imagine.
It was amazing. There was no crazy takeover, thank God, but it was really, really, really nice to see. And I've never been out in LA during 4th of July.
Okay.
So just to be out there, and it was just amazing. And then what's cool about it is it's 2 miles away from the Union Station. So as soon as my train was ready to come back to SB, I just jumped on it right away. It was super easy to get around over there, and the public transportation is just amazing. It's super easy to get around and stuff. But with the Carousel Mall shirt, pretty much it was just it was something that it just brought a lot of nostalgia to me, because when I was a kid, my first Nintendo I got, my mom bought it for me over there at the Carousel Mall in '89, and I don't think it was the Carousel Mall.
Central City.
It was
yeah,
Central
that's
City
it.
still, and it was the KB toy store on the 2nd floor.
Oh, she spent good money then, huh? Because
I-
I wasn't even allowed to shop there.
And then underneath it, I remember there was those gift sets that you get, the summer sausages with the Dijon mustard. There was one of those things underneath it,
Oh, really?
I can remember
The
that
kiosk,
place so good as a kid,
Totally.
just going in there, because back in the days, I don't know if you guys remember or not, but that mall was literally the closest mall around, and when I was growing up in Fontana, we would commute out here to go to the mall, because there wasn't Ontario Mills, there wasn't any of that. It was all vineyards at that time, I remember.
Word up.
So it's this to me brought a lot of nostalgia, and then it deteriorating over the years, and then not being used efficiently. And
Did you eat?
Huh?
Did you eat the bone, the meat, or?
no.
I was like,
No, it's just the way that it was handled. It was mismanaged, I would say, and just the decline of malls in general throughout the United States. It gave me this kind of kind of creepy kind of vibe, So I wanted to kind of do something that's a dedication, but also something that looked really cool, but also kind of like a death metal shirt. You know what I'm saying? Something cool like that.
I analyzed the design, and the things that I have to say is it's super incredible. But this is definitely a stinky horse,
Oh yeah.
because his ears are still there, and there's still some hair available.
Yeah, so there's still meat.
Yeah.
There's still meat, and
Some
there's
meat
still
on the
stuff
bone.
on there. So yeah.
Says the stinky
Yeah, so I know. So
It's a unicorn.
and if you go over there right now, that whole site is kind of stinky, right?
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah, it is decaying right there. We need to do something with that area. Unfortunately, Harris Building just caught on fire today.
Yeah,
That's horrible.
RIP to the Harris building.
Hopefully, it will be a blessing
In, the
in
long run.
disguise. Maybe it won't be as bad as we thought, and it will just gut the center and the facade. Maybe let's have. But
Let's
we
hope
do-
for the best.
Yeah, the roof did collapse, and I did hear 2 firefighters may have been injured.
Oh,
So I hope they're all right, and we're going to be praying for them.
Amen.
and let's just hope that this, all works out.
Word
But
up.
I got to do something downtown there.
No,
Gotta
we
gotta
especially
figure it out.
to draw people to the center of the heart of the namesake of the biggest county in the country, and we see so many other communities like here in Redlands that are thriving and growing, and you look at, Claremont, even though that's outside the county, but we kind of adopt them, and you look at, downtown Riverside, I remember when it wasn't much there in downtown Riverside and how they revitalized it. So we have many examples of what we can, emulate, so I just hope that the leadership gets on one accord to, and as well as involve the art revolution or renaissance that we're in as well, and integrate the youth. We have to be integrating the youth because they will lead. So let's empower them now. Let's not wait till tomorrow.
And moving on to someone who is integrating the youth into video and all kinds of incredible stuff when it comes to media. Our current host today, Antonio D. Miles. How was your weekend, brother?
I shaved a cat for the first time.
Oh my! Is that even possible? Yeah. I guess a really furry one.
Yeah, it was a very interesting type of moment. It's always hard to catch the pussy, but then once you get it, and you get to choose which angle you get to shave it from. So I choose from the head. So it was fun. Closer to the mic. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it was good. I mostly like to focus on creating. That's kind of like my thing. Like I'm always thinking like time is always fleeting, and I have too many ideas I need to get out. So I'm always trying to just like create.
Well, dude, you got plenty of time, man, and you're doing some major things right now. So, like when I saw you at what you did at the Acoma Center, oh man, dude, much respect. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I just help teach kids how to kind of run a podcast
Awesome.
and how to be a little bit more active listeners. If you don't know what active listening is, basically how, for example, if Yanni was talking about we need to focus on arts in San Bernardino. So active listening means I was listening to what he said and I can actually respond to what he was saying. So teaching kids how to actively listen as opposed to just responding without listening.
Which is a fine line on the radio, which I was just going to mention to you, that you try doing that pretty good, but in radio, sometimes you have to cut in. Right? So it's a fine line to learn that process of listening and then when to cut in, but you'll learn that, and that's why we're having people here today to learn that process. The little quirks that happen on live radio to make it flow good. Right? It's a little different than podcasts. Podcast is a little different. Those a lot of times it's an interview type of style, right? So that's why we're expanding all our horizons into everything.
There
good
you go.
Stuff, right on.
Hey now.
Yeah. And I technically don't like the word podcast. I just use it because when you say it, people understand it, so or they can put their ear to it.
It's a technical designation. Is it a technical designation?
Podcast came from an iPod back in the day when they had iPods on the radio, or on iPods, and you'd get a talk show on the iPod. So that's how podcast came into being.
Casting from the pod.
Okay,
Casting from the pod. Exactly.
Is it a technical word? Yeah, is it in the dictionary?
It is in the dictionary. Yes.
Interesting.
Totally.
It's amazing how these words.
The lexicon evolves.
Bootylicious is in the dictionary.
And it also means
really?
it also means small cast. You're narrowcasting. Where here you're broadcasting. You're broadcasting to a broad audience. On a podcast, you're narrowcasting. You're focusing on a narrow exactly. You're focusing on a narrow audience. So there's your background on it.
Okay.
And educate.
And he is good at is good at it. Yes.
Totally. And then but what did you do this holiday weekend?
I just told you.
You were just at Acoma, and that was
No.
That was the weekend before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I was basically, like I said, I was shaving the cat.
Okay.
That's what you did
Must
all
be a
weekend?
big cat
No.
for the whole weekend.
Just to keep it simple for time's sake, just working on creating stuff and being more creative and putting things in plan, getting the dots in order, T's crossed.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that
Cat sounds.
got away.
Provided by Rick Rule. Awesome. For myself, and to keep it short and quick and simple, and then this one last question for the panel, just a quick answer. The weekend was amazing. Blessed to be alive. I had a wonderful time at the Rocky Peters concert and open mic competition. That was awesome. Amy did a beautiful job. Everyone that graced the stage was awesome. And
I thought you should have got the $100.
I didn't even get up there for that, because
Hey,
I didn't
I'm
want
just
to
saying,
take away
you-
from the performers.
You did great.
But I want to say thank you for capturing that video of Amy and myself, because often I'm never captured. I'm usually capturing everybody, but that's the life of a photographer,
And
right?
I wanted to apologize. I didn't get the second one, but
No,
I wanted
no.
to get some pictures of you performing too. It's kind of hard sometimes.
No. What I normally do is if I'm taking a video like that, I just pull stills from the video. Just screenshot the video at certain places, and that's how you can get captures.
That's a good idea.
Pro tip. But nevertheless, that was a wonderful experience. Fireworks were awesome. I'm in the north end of Fontana, so it's like a war zone, so you don't have to spend no money. Wherever you look, the fireworks are going off. And then as far as upcoming events, we have the Mental Health Expo that's happening at the New Hope Family Life Center on the west side, the Dorothy Ingram Library. That's going to be taking place this Saturday, July 13th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There's going to be some wonderful workshops happening there, a lot of amazing vendors. There's also be food vendors, as well as there's going to be a food distribution. So come over to the west side and learn about mental health, address your mental health, get engaged in community, and if you're facing some food insecurities, come out to the food distribution as well. So with that being said, I heard that today is supposed to be National Video Game Day. And I was wondering, for those on the panel that still play video games, such as myself, what are you currently playing? I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3.
I don't have a video game console no more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of the new stuff because to me it's like all like pay to play type of stuff, and it's kind of like you pay for a game and then you got to pay for the ending at the end of the DLC. So what I'm playing right now,
Downloadable content.
I play Resident Evil, any Resident Evil from 0 to 8. Those are my games, and Fallout New Vegas.
There you
That's
go.
like that's
That's a
my favorite.
classic
I play
right
my
there.
life like Fallout New Vegas.
There you go. That's
I
what's
like
up.
it.
I just finished NES
Zelda.
Zelda 2.
The second one, yeah.
Yep. And now I'm slowly working on Castlevania.
Awesome.
It's a fun game, man. Really.
The old
That's
games
what's
are way
difficult.
better.
It's difficult.
Yeah, they're way better than how it is
And this
now.
is because of Jason. Yeah, he hooks it up. Yeah.
That's what's up.
The
With that,
soundtracks are pretty dope too. on
with
those
that
games.
being said, is it your show now, brother?
All right, cool. So you guys probably had this discussion before, but I wanted to bring a question to the panel about San Bernardino. So my first question is why do you think San Bernardino has a bad reputation? So for example, people were like, "Oh, I live in San Bernardino." "Oh, you live in San Bernardino?" So I just want to open it to you guys. Why do you guys think that San Bernardino has a bad rep to people living outside of San Bernardino?
I'd like to answer that question and give you my response of how I've tried to correct it. While back, LA was having some very negative news. Of course, they've had the Skid Row and everything else for years and years and years, and all these problems. And I started noticing that the LA Times would use San Bernardino as an example of something negative to try to deflect away from what was going on in LA. And that stuff progressed and got worse and got worse. And it continues. And they continue to do it. And now other newspapers and things, they make up these things like the top 10 list of negative, the top this and the negative, right? And they always love to throw San Bernardino in. And it's from that beginning. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy for us, right? We get less money, we get less everything because of what LA Times was doing back in the day. And I have written their editor several times, every time they do a negative one, and say, hey, why do you pick on us when you have the equivalency right in your own town you need to fix?
For real. Look at
And
yourself.
they, I've never gotten a response, but I do write them.
Amen. Amen.
I think before it's a lot what Robert was saying. We're kind of like LA's scapegoat a little bit, but now I feel like San Bernardino is more like a meme because a lot of the young generation and stuff, and especially certain sites on Instagram that I'm not going to name, but they're pretty much just all about just anything that's going bad in San Bernardino, and they post it. And they'll get like
money.
they'll get like 200,000 followers on it, and it's ridiculous because of drama and stuff.
And I've worked as hard, but I can't get the hits that the negative stuff does.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I don't do it, but
yeah, it's kind of messed up on that point. But this is the issue that I do have with it is because with San Bernardino, we have to deal with all this stuff about it. You know, being kind of like the Florida, if Florida was a city, somebody told me that.
San Bernardino, man.
Yeah, and
San Bernardino, man.
And yeah, things go crazy in San Bernardino, but I mean, in LA, it's like triple. But the thing is, and this is what I've noticed, is the news outlets, including Christina Devine, that thinks she's for the people. I contacted her when the naming of the grand opening of the skate park,
Christina Devine?
and none of them wanted to cover it.
Who's
She's
Christina
a
Devine?
very predominant journalism for humanity purposes and philanthropy and stuff like that. And she totally did not want to cover it. And that's the thing, is because the news will hypersensualize things, because the more they hypersensualize and get people scared of things, the more viewers they get.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So then they don't want to cover the good things in San Bernardino, like, you know, like we talked about that boxing gym that guy does out there.
Project Fighting Chance.
Yeah. They don't want to cover stuff like that, but they want to cover when a car chase comes on, or
you guarantee they're going to cover the Harris building burning down.
oh yeah, they're going to cover all of that stuff, and oh, the homeless people in this, and it's like, and then the same thing too. They're like, when I went out there, I went to Skid Row and I rode my bike out there, and Skid Row is cleaning up. But the thing is that they don't tell you about it. The news doesn't tell you about it. Is all those people from Skid Row, they're starting to move in over here now, you know, and it's bad compared to like 2 years ago. We're inhabiting a lot of homelessness, and it's mainly, I feel, because of just the way the politicians are between different cities. You know, they're like, oh, well, it's your problem. No, it's your problem, when it's everybody's problem as far as California goes, you know.
Word up.
And it starts all the way up from the top. So I feel like also too, even with the tragedy in San Bernardino, we still never got that, you know, that, hey, you know what, this is an American city too type of thing. And I think it's because of the tradition of just the violence and the drugs and the gangbanging and all that bad stuff that gives that negative perception. But they don't look at the good stuff, like the car clubs, some of the best rappers in California, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? We got some really good talent.
We got the best cheeseburgers.
We got we got one of the best burgers out here. You know, like and I feel like like Yanni was saying, is we're kind of going through a renaissance right now, because we have so many artists coming from San Bernardino. So it's not this gang culture, Scante warrior type of lifestyle anymore. It's more of like, oh, dude, like I remember people coming up to me and asking me like, your brand is from San Bernardino? Like, how? Like, it doesn't look like some swap meet stuff. And I'm like, no, like no, there's people out here really putting out good stuff. It's not just me. It's many other brands too. But
Oh, that's all you put out.
but that's what we need, though. That's what we need.
Bomb, dude.
You know, we need stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said before, even musician-wise, bringing that and showcasing it. But it's also the city's responsibility to engage with them.
Yes.
Like when I went out to L.A., they had a drone show in front of their city hall. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to do fireworks or anything like that, but they had a really nice drone show. And I was thinking, like, SB can do the same thing.
Totally.
But the problem is that they want to charge you for permits and all this stuff, instead of saying, hey, you know what, we're going to take care of that, Robert.
Amen.
Tell you what, let's throw a I Love San Bernardino Fest on Court Street. We'll pay for your permits. We'll pay for all of this stuff, as long as you take care of the promotion and take care of the talent. You know what I'm saying?
So
And
when
we're gonna get deeper into that conversation.
Yeah,
as
but
well.
it's just that's the way.
And I did
you know?
that, and guess what happened?
Permits.
They sent a spy. Well, they canceled it. Then they sent a spy to the Elks Lodge where they let me have it to see what I was doing. Instead of helping me, they tried to destroy me,
They
right?
try to instigate it.
Yeah.
basically.
So
Gotcha.
like that's what we were dealing with before. Now we got rid of those people.
Amen.
And I worked hard to do that.
Yeah.
Got you.
But
Yanni? Oh,
Definitely.
go yeah, please.
Were you finished with your
Oh,
thoughts?
I'm absolutely done.
Definitely. I'll keep it short and simple, because I saw that you have a list of questions. I think that the stigma, like Jason and Robert kind of said, you know, there's factors that have contributed to that stigma. I know for me and Robert, we met in community trying to address that and trying to show the positive things that are happening in our community, highlighting the positive things. So I don't just expect the change or this renaissance that we're speaking of to take place just from the leadership. It has to be each one of us that reside here and know that our community is beautiful, know that the
Absolutely.
people are here are strong and resilient. You know, that's something that our community produces is resilience, right? Because I really believe this wholeheartedly. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And then
Absolutely.
upon these same grounds, we have entities like Xerox, Taco Bell, McDonald's, right? That have went on to do great things or conquer the world. We'll just say it like that, right? I think each one of us, with our gifts and talents and skill sets that we each been uniquely gifted, we have that same opportunity. So it's not about focusing on the past or what it is. It's about what we are willing to, the efforts that we're willing to render to better our collective future.
Yep.
And I think through art, through creativity, through artistry, creative expression, we can get there.
So
Absolutely.
you have nothing to say about why you think, nothing to add on to why you think other people have that negative image about them. You have nothing else to add to that.
I just think that people are easily programmed nowadays, and kind of like how Jason alluded to or spoke about, how we know that fear is used throughout our country, right? The fear of losing.
For ratings.
You're going to lose out or something's being taken from you. I think those tools are very strong in this world, right? The negativity. So I think certain powers that be or certain forces, or even if you want to look at it from a spiritual realm, somebody is benefiting from that negative energy, that negativity.
Someone's making money off of it.
Somebody is.
Yeah,
Somebody
definitely.
is, you know?
How do you feel?
Yes.
So the way I feel about it is that, unfortunately, you can kind of drive into San Bernardino and then it can kind of be confirmed why people think it's bad. Like you can drive down just Waterman or just Highland,
E Street.
E Street, Baseline, right, G Street, and people were like, oh yeah, so this is San Bernardino, right? Because of what they see on the outside, but they don't see the hard work that's going on behind the scenes.
Amen.
And I'm
Or
going to
the
get into
culture.
that. Yeah, I'm going to get into that, right? And so that goes into my next question. But first, the reason why I brought this up.
So let me get what you're saying. You're saying basically people can confirm it by just coming into our gateways.
Yeah, they're like, okay, yeah, I think I hear bad things about San Bernardino. Oh, I accidentally ended up San Bernardino. Oh, yeah, I see why. I see why they say this, right?
Very interesting point.
Right.
Okay. Good point.
But the reason why I brought this topic up is because I know each one of you gentlemen have grown up in this area, and not only that, but you guys contribute very heavily to making a positive image and impact in this community and in the IE in general. And so that's why I wanted to bring this topic up, talk about San Bernardino, right?
Wait.
Word up.
Beatniks.
Got you. And so just basically, and I think we're already going there. So the second question I have for you guys is, what can we do to flip that image around?
So that's beautiful question. And I'll tell you what I've always said. I want to plant 1,000 acorns to make 2 or 3 grand strong oaks here for San Bernardino. You know what those acorns are getting implanted in the minds of our youth. Our youth is our future.
Amen.
If we can help them feel better about San Bernardino, the whole image will change. That's going to take a little while.
Totally.
I think with San Bernardino, development and investments in the city, not necessarily the standard issue corporate stuff like Redlands, how they have that Redlands, or even Rialto, how they have that little, it's the same buildings below 5, Target, all these same corporate buildings, Chipotle, they're all in the same thing. It's like cookie cutter. If San Bernardino can make something like Fifth Street, like the promenade that they're talking about with the Carousel Mall, if they can build something that's really, really nice and engaging with families, like even bikeways and little waterways, how they have in the design or something, I think bringing that will help it more. But it's like the way that they're like scattered on where they want to put their main street. So originally it was Hospitality, now it's Fifth Street, and then it's like they neglect E Street, which I would have totally told them to revitalize, because that's Route 66, that's like, it's history, and I think that's what San Bernardino's missing, is whoever's running their PR needs help with trying to get people's emotions, because if you play on people's emotions, like with classic cars and things like that, or cheeseburgers or dine-ins and stuff like that, you embed it in their heads. Then they're, instead of looking at it as, oh, this is a dump with Scante Warriors in it, they're looking at it, oh, you know what, this is a all-American city, you know, this is classic cars, driving at night, listening to Art LeBeau's Sunday Special, you know, it's like, that's what I'm feeling. You know?
Scante Warriors are people that use amphetamines.
Yes.
For those who may not know.
I was one of those people.
What's that?
Warriors, come out
Come out to play, and they're talking to themselves and looking over their drugs.
Got
Right?
you. Got you. They're out here in flip flops and no underwear. Yeah, nothing.
But yeah,
One
like,
flip-flop.
like what I told the city, because the city originally, when they were giving cannabis companies a hard time, like when it was like at the sessions and stuff like that, what I told the city is I go, what would you rather be known for? Would you rather be known as the capital of meth or the capital of cannabis events, you know? And Robert knows. There's like at least on average 3 cannabis events happening every day in San Bernardino. So there's got to be, it's got to be at least the capital or something. I don't know, but you know.
And the police think they get them all, but they just go more underground. I mean, they're going so underground. They're like back in the days where you had to go to.
It's like a speakeasy.
You go to the rave. You had to go to 3 different liquor stores and get directions. Did you ever do that?
You gotta open up the door to the beer and then just walk through it instead of the back door.
Weird stuff. Yeah, like you had to go meet with people to get directions, and then oh man.
No, definitely. Myself, I see it as, you know, especially when we look at like, you know, some of our higher educational institutes, right? You know, like Cal State San Bernardino, Goyotes has like one of the best business schools in the nation, right? So I think it really has to focus in on the creative expression, like I said earlier, but more so education. We don't want the Inland Empire to be an incubator for the prisons, right? You know, since they
factories,
right? For
or warehouses.
For hard labor, right? So I think we have to cultivate the mind, and it's so key that we have all our youth reading above a 3rd grade level once they hit 3rd grade, because they used the 3rd grade reading level to project the size of the prisons they're going to be building in the future. So it's so important that that 0 through 5, I should say, you know, those early formative years of empowering our youth, making sure they have the mindset to be able to empower themselves through learning, right? Because if you don't know how to read and do math, you pigeonhole yourself to either incarceration or you're going to be in one of these warehouse jobs, and you only can work those so long before your body breaks down, you know? So I really think it's going to be investment in education, but more importantly, I think the most important part is how we speak to one another, how we treat one another. It has to be led with love. It has to be speaking life, seeing each of our potential, not our faults, because we all fall short of the glory. But we all could be a part of working together as a community and lifting our community to pristine airs, to a better future together for all of us, you know? That's how I feel.
Yeah. I guess my take, I think, what would help change the image, and I would just kind of piggyback with what Jason was saying. I think it's all PR, right? Because we're basically, propaganda is everything, right? Nazis used propaganda. Propaganda is still used to today. So the way I think San Bernardino can benefit from propaganda is using someone like Hit Boy to come in, or, you know, some big names like Keith, and then say, hey, you know what, San Bernardino's dope. We're going to throw a show at the Orange Show because San Bernardino's so dope. We just love it because we're locals and we're natives, and we want to appreciate the IE. Something like that, I think, would change the image immediately or bring some more attention in a positive light. All they have to do is just say it. They just have to say it. That's one sentence, 30 seconds. That's
Corey
it.
Feldman and Limp Bizkit are coming here in August to San Bernardino over at Glen Helen.
Did it all for the nookie.
And that's going to be a big thing, too, so that's going to help out a lot. But Corey and
Got you.
Fred Durst and that bunch.
Got you. But if they were local people who actually care about the city, want to bring a positive light, that'd make more sense, right? And so that's what I think would help change the image for San Bernardino and the Inland Empire.
I just want to chime in
Go
real
ahead.
quick. It's funny that you mentioned Hit Boy because I just had the pleasure of going to the Colton Museum. I didn't even know Colton had a museum, right? And they were unaware that Hit Boy graduated from Colton High School, so they're going to try to reach out to him and try to get some information and some of his history in the museum.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's things like that. Go ahead,
Let
Jay.
me add one more thing. And also, too, this was thing is for the past 10 or 11 years, I have tried to get Eric Costin to come out here because Eric Costin is actually from San Bernardino, and he's one of the best skateboarders in the world. But it's just difficult. He doesn't answer any of his messages and stuff. And I think the city, if they were to go about it, they would be able to get him out here and, give him an award and say, hey, because, I mean, he is one of the best. He's my favorite skateboarder. So, I mean, that I think, again, there's so many people. Just like how they did that with the...
Jalen McDaniel.
Yeah, exactly. That was perfect. That was literally perfect setup,
Shout out to Ben Reynoso for...
Exactly, because Ben knows what's up, and unfortunately, he's not going to be our council member, but I mean, dude,
Just for a spell, he'll be back.
Just that type of mindset, that's the type of mindset that we need for all of our council members. And it doesn't matter what party they're from. This is what needs to come first is the kids and people, and recognizing people that are doing good, like Chubsies and all these other different companies that are serving the community. Amen. They do need to be praised and appreciated by the city, because I'll tell you what, most of the people that I talk to, they say that the city doesn't care about anybody. What they care about is their closed little knit circle and gatekeeping, and pretty much if you're not in that circle, then permits, insurance, all of the above, and then they're sending people to spy on you type of stuff.
Yeah, so you try to get in the circle, and then you end up like a mark.
Yeah, because they don't care. Yeah. They'll get the whatever they want to rent out for free for their little parties and their little events.
The culture of politics, we really need to work on that a little bit.
Yeah.
You have to shave a cat in order to get into the circle.
Yes.
Clean that.
You gotta shave it, and you choose. What was his name? I believe it was. He's one of the congressmen. He was a former ATF officer. Can't think of his name. But I believe he was saying that there's different ways to shave a cat. Can't think of his name.
And sometimes you just gotta grab it,
Yeah, there's different points you can shave a cat. Anyway, but
even though it doesn't want to get shaved, right?
Yeah, well,
that's the point, right?
Some people are hyperagile. They're allergic. They're allergic.
San Bernardino's the cat, and we really need to shave, but it doesn't want to get shaved.
Hey, you guys put it how you want. We're all creatives. You just be like, hey, I haven't showered in days. I need to shave the cat. Whatever you want to look at it. So just to continue on with everything,
is a shaved kitty better than a hairy one? Or?
It depends on if you're allergic to hair. It depends on the dander. You ever seen a shaved cat? They call it like a sphinx. Looks like it can't leave the house. You got to keep it indoors. It's like a giant rat.
Oh, we have fun here on the show, that's for sure.
Definitely. I know that we're circling to about our last 15 minutes, so I know that you had a few more questions.
We're going to hit it. So,
Segue?
Yeah, just to continue with everything, right? And like I said, you gentlemen are working really hard out here every day. Even the gentleman, first time I met him in here, I heard all these stories that he's been doing work for decades.
Rick Rule.
Yeah, so I know your work's not going to go in vain. Right, and I think that's what's really important. So, what would you guys like to see San Bernardino like in the next 10 years? If you can have a complete vision for it, what would you like to see it in the next 10 years?
So 10 years ago, I made this list of the things when we were in bankruptcy that we could do to make money, to bring in revenue, to help our youth. So basically, when it comes down to it, I had like the Arrowhead, and some types of tourism, utilizing the airport for that tourism. The other things were utilize like how they have the hang gliders up there. Mm-hmm. I mean, we hardly hear anything about that, but it's like the best place to hang glide in the whole world. But like these are the types of things that we could showcase, and it's been 10 years, and you know what? They didn't showcase hardly any of them. And that's where it does come. That's why I now took a break for 6 months or more from the city meetings, because I kind of felt like
they're not getting listened
to. They
weren't
listening, right?
Listening.
All of a sudden, I come to the meeting last week, and Robert Porter's a star again for a second, man.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, right.
In walks Liberace.
Yeah. So I'm like, wow, I'm back, right? Amen. So that did feel good. So I have been there, and I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah. What about 10 years
It
from
might
now?
take 10 more.
What about 10 years from now? Same vision?
My vision is, I'm going to tell them the same thing I always do. You give me safety, you give me clean streets, and I'll give you tourism. I promise you.
I like that.
I love that.
I like that.
Jay?
I think in the next 10 years, the city is going to completely be revitalized as far as downtown, because we have like 3 buildings that need to come down. Like that Hilton building is sitting there, and it's just decrepit.
The Marriott.
Yeah, the Marriott, and then also the convention center and the city
Radisson now? Yeah.
and the city hall building too. So I think those are going to be completely taken down. I think the promenade's going to be there, and then I think because of the bullet train going out to Vegas, I strongly believe that San Bernardino is going to invest more in their railway system, and possibly maybe even doing some type of subway or monorail type of thing to get around throughout the city, because just alone, like city right now, the transportation's amazing in San Bernardino. You can take a bus to Disneyland, you can take the Metro Link to LA, and then from LA you can go anywhere, you know. So and then the airport
the
too.
traffic is not that bad in San Bernardino, by the way.
No.
You know, compared to other places, wow. Because
No.
we have big streets and
Yeah.
wide area.
Yeah, so that's what I think is going to be next, and then I think the city's going to get a little bit more populated because of a lot of people moving out from LA and stuff.
Affordable living.
Yeah, but I think also too it's going to gentrify a little bit. But this is where I hope that the city invests in small business and showcases them, so that they're taken care of.
And they're the ones that being gentrified, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like one of the things that I said when I saw the map of the new layout that they were going to do, I was just saying, hey, you know what? Save a couple of those places, the retail storefronts, for small businesses, because if you put Claire's and the same stuff over and over, I can go to Rialto and get the same junk, you know. I could go to Cracker Barrel down the street, you know. It's like, do something that's original. And I know these partners are developers, they're like a cookie cutter type of thing, but if the city can at least argue with those points, I think it would be good. And then I also do see the art community drastically getting huge, and the music community as well, and outlets like different venues to showcase these things, you know, because back in the 90s, this place was awesome with all the different what was it, the Metrodome or Metro?
The Metro.
Yeah, well, there was a bunch of different places out here that like they would have shows like every night, like punk rock shows and stuff like that.
Yeah. There was Stingers.
Stingers. It used to be Gotham.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, definitely.
Went to all those clubs, ABCs.
Carlos O'Brien's, you
Yeah,
know, that used to be a little hot spot.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
All right, did we do good over now?
Well, you can give us our 10 years.
Well, definitely. I would love to kind of piggyback on both Robert and Jason's idea, but I foresee art being huge. You know, I would love to see San Bernardino be an art destination, right? Have a 7 or 8, 10, 11 different art museums displaying different kind of works from different kind of cultures, because we have such a diverse mix of cultures out here. So make sure that all the cultures are represented. Maybe a cultural center, maybe a hub for cultural centers where we have every single demographic that's reflected in our area has a cultural center. You know what I mean?
That would just be magnificent.
You know, so I would see like an art destination.
And restaurants
that represent for all the different, for real. You don't have to travel around the world, but if you come to San Bernardino, you can eat around the world. You know what I mean? So through art and through the arts, basically, and music as well, I would love to see, in connection with our airport, more flights, more destinations that people could fly out right here, greater investment in the terminals, and more awareness about the flights and everything, and, you know, getting more flights, because this airport is in the top 30 as far as moving the most logistics in the nation, and it's climbing, you know. So a lot of people don't know that. So that, and just capitalizing on the talents and the gifted people that we have here.
And just to add, it's climbing faster than any other airport.
Word up.
Yeah,
right.
I just had one more question, and we can just answer it really quick, guys. But I really have to ask it. And
well, first, give us your 10 years before you hit us with that final question.
Well, what's crazy about 10 years ago, I had a vision that I thought that San Bernardino would be the midpoint between LA and Vegas. but they decided to build that train in Rancho, so I was close. But I think they didn't choose San Bernardino because of the negative image.
But we did just start flights to Vegas, so.
Yeah, but I mean like a train system to be like the.
Oh yeah, true.
To be like the
train.
center point between the two, and I think they didn't choose San Bernardino because of the image. That's just my opinion. I think in 10 years San Bernardino can go either left or right. It just depends on the people who have their feet in the ground, right? But just for time's sake, I'm going to ask this last question for you guys because I think it's really good, and it is, who do you think has a bigger change or impact for San Bernardino for it to change? The community and businesses, or the council members and the people that are in politics?
The people, always the people, people power. Like that to me, if it's not coming from the people, it won't last. It won't stick. If you don't have community buy-in, it won't last. You know, they could force whatever their vision is, but if the community does not support that and doesn't come through to support it, then you're going astray. So I think our city needs to do a much better job in integrating the community and making community input more accessible for the community, not having meetings at 2 or 3 o'clock on work days, right, when people have to go pick up their kids after they get off work and all that. Like, what's wrong with having a city council meeting on a Saturday at 12 o'clock where everyone could call in? You know, those kind of ideas where we get community input, because if we have community buy-in, most people are willing to render some kind of efforts to manifest that vision. So to me, it's the people power, small businesses, because they say it's the backbone of America, but which it is, right? So just to highlight and capitalize all the, and before I say that, just want to say thank you to every business that decide to set roots here in San Bernardino, right? You could go anywhere you wanted, but you believe in the people, you believe in the community. So I just want to say thank you for all those, and even the future businesses as well. So to answer your question, I think it's the people power, and then small businesses is what I see making the most impact and change within our community.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think same thing. The people definitely have the power, and it's just like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You know, they don't want us to play their reindeer games. They want to exclude us. So we're gonna go play our own. We're gonna do our own reindeer games, and that includes, you know, having barbecues with hundreds of skateboarders and throwing out free product and
Skaters?
Yeah, you know, like we're gonna do that stuff, and we're gonna keep doing it,
Awesome.
and whether the city likes it or not. Yeah, thank God they looked the other way, but I mean,
Did
it would
they
be
use
better.
marijuana?
No,
Okay.
of course not.
Well, then maybe we'll support.
They're not out there with those, what you call it, the scallywag.
I was gonna say lot lizards, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
of those running around too.
we're not selling firearms during city council meetings.
Yeah, that's for sure. Is that all? Or?
That's it.
All right.
That's it.
Mine's easy. All those politicians up there used to be people. Yep, they did their thing, whatever it was in the community to build up to the point they're at. All those business owners, they used to be people, locals or whatever. They learned their way. They learned that they're going to build it right here, right? So you can't have those other two without the people.
Word up.
Yep.
Word up.
awesome. Thank you guys.
How about yourself?
Yeah, I think the people have the power.
Amen. Power to the people.
Man, that was a friggin' awesome show, dude!
There you go.
People own the culture.
Man, I felt like I got a lot off my chest. It was like
Amen.
counseling.
Hey, it's a support group, and maybe we can do this again and focus on not so much the city, but more so mental health as men. You know,
Yeah.
how are we taking care of ourselves, and what we do to take care of ourselves.
And I would argue that we did do that today.
To
Yeah,
express
but
it
yeah,
as-
because we are all men right
Yes,
here.
indeed.
And we were getting stuff off. We're getting stuff off our chest, and it was brave for you to change the subject, and I appreciate that.
Definitely.
But I do want to do some men's mental health
Yeah,
because I had some good stuff. I had some
Definitely,
good
definitely.
Yeah,
And before we
we'll definitely
circle
get it.
around to home base, please share with each one of you, share with how people can tune into your podcast and all that you do, as well as you, Jason. How can people order some of these awesome shirts and your products and the stickers and all that? Get your own custom action figure. You know what I mean? Like, so go ahead, Antonio. You first, please.
Yeah, so you can go to YouTube and go to The Empire Podcast. Looks just like that on his shirt. And you can do that. I have a book also as well called 10 Things Your Parents Should Have Taught You. I don't have it, but yeah, y'all can find me.
All right.
If you want to get one of these cool carousel shirts, we only have I think less than a dozen left. It's www.waxskateboards.bigcartel.com. If you want to message me, my Instagram is Mr.wax13.
And this is Robert Porter and Ipiani Lockhart with the I Love San Bernardino County Radio Show, and we are out of here!
Say you don't know me, I recognize my face. Say you don't care who goes to that kind of place. Knee deep in the hoopla, sinking in your fight. Too many runaways, eating up the night. Marconi plays the mama. Listen to the radio. Don't you remember? We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. Built this city. We built this city on rock.
NBC News on KCAA Loma Linda is sponsored by Teamsters Local 1932, protecting the future of working families. Teamsters1932.org.
NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Taylor. At least 2 people are dead and millions left without power as Tropical Storm Beryl slams Texas. The latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center says the storm is bringing heavy rains and damaging winds to eastern Texas. Beryl was about 55 miles northwest of Houston with top winds of 60 miles per hour as it moves further inland. President Biden will host a high-stakes NATO summit in Washington this week to mark the 75th anniversary of the alliance. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said NATO has been a major focus of the Biden administration.
For 75 years, NATO has served a vital role in protecting the American people and in making the world a less dangerous place. NATO is the strongest defensive alliance in history, and today it is bigger, stronger, better resourced, and more united than ever before, in large part due to President Biden's leadership over the past 3 years.
The summit comes at a critical time for Biden as he's under pressure to show he's fit to serve another 4 years as president, following his faltering debate performance against Donald Trump that prompted some to call on Biden to drop out of the election. Boeing has agreed to plead guilty to criminal fraud over 2 deadly 737 MAX airplane crashes, one in 2018 and one in 2019. The Justice Department said Sunday the aircraft maker violated a 2021 settlement that protected the company from prosecution. Boeing also agreed to pay a $243 million fine. California's largest wildfire is still raging in Santa Barbara County. According to CAL FIRE, the lake fire has blackened more than 20,000 acres and is only 8% contained. The flames are burning less than a mile away from Neverland Ranch, the longtime home of the late pop star Michael Jackson. Singles action at Wimbledon continues as round 4 rolls on. On the men's side, American Taylor Fritz defeated 4-seed Alexander Zverev.